Chapter 2: The Microbial World. We will learn habitat of microorganisms, types of microorganisms, microorganisms and our life, food poisoning, food preservation, nitrogen fixation. Try to answer. Have you seen green slimy layer on swamps or marshy areas? What is it? What is polio vaccination? Why is it given only to children? Living organisms vary in shapes and sizes. Some organisms are big like a whale and some are small like an ant. But some organisms are so tiny that they cannot be seen with naked eyes. These organisms are called microbes or microorganisms, Greek, mikros, small, organismos, organism. They can be seen only with the help of an instrument called microscope. The science which deals with the study of microorganisms is called microbiology, and the scientist who studies microorganisms is called a microbiologist. Habitat of microorganisms. Microorganisms or microbes are omnipresent, which means they are found everywhere. They are found in the air, water, soil, and in non-living organisms. Microorganisms can survive in extreme conditions like hot springs, deserts, and polar regions. They can even survive in two acidic and two alkaline environments also. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat also have microbes. Some microbes live alone while some live in groups known as colonies. Microorganisms form a hard outer covering around their body called cyst, which protects them from unfavorable conditions of temperature and dryness. They remain inactive inside the cyst till the conditions become favorable. When favorable conditions return, they emerge out from the cyst, multiply, and continue with their normal life cycles. Do you know? Antony van Leeuwenhoek, 1632 to 1723, was one of the first persons to observe microorganisms using a microscope of his own design. Leeuwenhoek is commonly known as the father of microscopy and microbiology and considered to be the first microbiologist. Activity. Aim: to observe microorganisms in soil. Materials required: soil, water, beaker, a glass slide, filter paper, and a microscope. Procedure: take some moist soil and some water in a beaker. Stir the contents thoroughly. Filter it by using the filter paper. Put one drop of this filtered water on a clean glass slide and examine under a microscope. Observation: we will observe small organisms floating on the slide. Conclusion: it shows that the soil contains microorganisms. Activity. Aim: to observe microorganisms in pond water. Materials required: pond water, beaker, a glass slide, and a microscope. Procedure: take a few drops of water from a pond. Spread it on a glass slide and observe under the microscope. Observation: we will observe small organisms floating on the slide. Conclusion: it shows that pond water is full of tiny organisms called microorganisms. Types of microorganisms. Microorganisms have been classified into 5 major types. These are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae, and viruses. Types of microorganisms. Microorganisms have been bacteria, singular, bacterium. Bacteria are single-celled organisms which occur in various shapes and sizes. The size of bacteria varies from 0.2 to 100 microns. 1 micron is equal to 1 upon 1000 of a millimeter. They are the most abundantly found microorganisms which occur almost everywhere on the earth. Bacteria are grouped under 4 categories based on their shape: the spherical-shaped, coccus, plural, cocci; the rod-shaped, bacillus, plural, bacilli; the spiral-shaped, spirillum, plural, spirilla; and the comma-shaped Vibrium, plural, Vibrio. Fungi, singular, fungus. Fungi are non-green plants with bodies usually made of slender, thread-like filaments called hyphae. Fungi exhibit variations in size. They may be unicellular such as yeast or multicellular such as bread mold and are found in the warm and moist places. They occur everywhere and are usually found growing over moist bread, leather goods, pickles, rotting fruits and vegetables and other dead organic matter. Fungi lack chloroplast and hence, they cannot manufacture their own food by photosynthesis. They are therefore either parasitic or saprophytic. A parasitic fungus obtains its food from other living organisms. A saprophytic fungus obtains its food from dead and decaying organic matter. Some common examples of fungi are yeasts used in bakeries, Rhizopus, the bread mold, Agaricus, mushroom, and Penicillium. Activity. Aim: to view fungus under a microscope. Materials required: a bread slice, a glass slide, and a microscope. Procedure: take a slice of bread. Moisten it by sprinkling some water. Place it on a plate in a warm place and leave it for a few days. Carefully observe the change on the slice after a few days. We will see white, cottony growth on the piece of bread. Now take a bit of this piece and examine it under a microscope. Observation: we will observe long thread-like structures along with rounded bodies containing several spores. This structure is a bread mold or Rhizopus. Algae, singular, alga. Algae are simple plant-like organisms having no true root, leaves and stem. They contain chlorophyll which makes them capable of synthesizing their own food by the process of photosynthesis. They are found in both fresh water and sea water. Algae can be unicellular as well as multicellular. The size of algae can vary from 1 micron to several meters as in large seaweeds. Algae are also called grass of water because they remain floating on the surface of water. Many algae possess pigments in their cells which give them their characteristic colors. They may be green, red and brown in color. Diatoms, wallwalks, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra and Fucus, seaweed, are some common examples of algae. Protozoa, singular, protozoan. They are simple, minute, unicellular organisms that exhibit animal-like characteristics. They are heterotrophic in nature. They can be found in any favorable aquatic environments such as freshwater lakes, stagnant ponds, moist soil, ditches or in the bodies of animals including man as parasites. The size of protozoa ranges from 2 to 200 micron. They can be free-living, symbiotic or parasitic. Protozoa usually reproduce asexually by budding or binary fission. Some common examples of protozoa are amoeba, Paramecium, Euglena, Trypanosoma, Plasmodium and Giardia. Viruses, singular, virus. A virus is a microorganism which exhibits the characteristics of both living and non-living things. They are so small that they cannot be seen using ordinary microscope and are usually studied with the help of a powerful microscope called electron microscope. Viruses can grow and reproduce only inside the living cells of plants and animals. Therefore, they need a host. When outside a living body, they are like non-living things and do not show any features of a living thing. However, when they enter a living cell, they start reproducing like other living organisms. Therefore, most scientists believe that viruses are on the borderline between a living and a non-living thing. They are found in plants, animals, and human beings. Tobacco mosaic virus is an example of a plant virus. Some viruses can even infect bacteria. These viruses are called bacteriophages. Many of the diseases such as polio, rabies, influenza, AIDS, chicken pox, measles and mumps are caused by viruses in humans and animals. Microorganisms and our life. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some others are harmful and cause diseases. They are used extensively in various fields and are of great economic importance. Useful microorganisms. Some of the useful aspects of microorganisms are as follows: food and beverage industry. Increase soil fertility. Medicinal use. Maintain clean environment. Food and beverage industry. Microbes are very useful in processing of many food items such as curd, cheese, bread and idli are prepared by the process of fermentation. Fermentation is the process of conversion of sugar into an acid or an alcohol by the action of microorganisms. Curd is formed by coagulation of a protein called casein which is present in milk. A bacteria called Lactobacillus promotes curd formation by converting lactose sugar in milk into lactic acid. It multiplies in warm milk and converts it into curd. Cheese and paneer. The production of milk products such as cheese and paneer, cottage cheese, involves the use of bacteria such as Lactobacillus and Streptococcus. Some fungi such as Aspergillus and Penicillium are also added to cheese to give a special flavor. Bread. The process of bread making involves kneading a mixture of flour, salt, sugar, yeast cells, fungi, and water into dough. Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. During this respiration in yeast, sugar gets converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Bubbles of this gas fill the dough and increase its volume. Baking this expanded dough kills the yeast and stops fermentation. The alcohol also evaporates during the baking process. Pastries and cakes are also baked in the same way. Idli and dosa. The common food dishes such as idli and dosa are also prepared by the action of yeast cells. The mixture of ground rice and dal is allowed to stand for a few hours. As the fermentation occurs naturally, due to bacteria present in the mixture rises and becomes sour. A popular dish of Gujarat called dhokla also needs the action of yeast cells to become soft and fluffy. Alcoholic beverages. Yeast is also used in the production of alcoholic beverages such as wines and beers from fruit juices and barley by the process of fermentation. Activity. Aim: to demonstrate fermentation of sugar into alcohol by yeast. Materials required: sugar, half teaspoon of yeast, warm water and a beaker. Procedure: take a beaker half filled with warm water. Dissolve 3 to 4 teaspoons of sugar in it. Now add half a spoon of yeast powder to the sugar solution. Cover the beaker and keep it in a warm place for 4 to 5 hours. Now smell the solution. Observation: the smell released in the mixture is of alcohol. Conclusion: the smell of alcohol is due to the fermentation of sugar into alcohol by yeast. Vinegar. Sugarcane juice is converted to vinegar, acetic acid, by the action of bacteria called Acetobacter. Citric acid, a fungus called Aspergillus, is used to produce large quantities of citric acid which is used in soft drink industries. Source of nutrients: some algae such as chlorella and seaweeds are used as food in many countries. Chlorella is very rich in proteins and vitamins. Seaweeds are a rich source of minerals and all natural vitamins. Do you know? Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. Do you know? Medicinal use. Some of the medicinal uses of microorganisms are given below. Production of antibiotics. Microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi are used in the production of medicines called antibiotics to kill or stop the growth of the disease-causing microorganisms. Streptomycin, tetracycline and erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria. Antibiotics are used only against certain microorganisms. They are not effective against viruses. The first antibiotic, penicillin, was discovered by Alexander Fleming using the fungus Penicillium notatum 1928, for which he got the Nobel Prize in 1945. Antibiotics are prepared by growing specific microorganisms on a large scale. Precautions for taking antibiotics. Antibiotics should only be taken when advised by a qualified physician. Moreover, it should only be taken when needed, otherwise it becomes less effective for future use. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Production of vaccines. A disease-causing microbe that enters our body is called antigen. In response to this, our body produces proteins that fight and protect the body from these antigens called antibodies. These antibodies remain in the body to fight against future infections by the same microbe. A vaccine is a collection of dead or weak disease-causing microorganisms. When this is injected into the bloodstream, it stimulates the immune system to produce antibodies. These antibodies fight against weak antigens, and some of them are stored in the blood to prevent the attack of that particular disease in future. Through this process, vaccines develop immunity for a particular disease in our body. This technique is known as vaccination or immunization. Vaccines are prepared against several infectious diseases such as smallpox, tuberculosis, cholera, hepatitis, and polio. Nowadays, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. A worldwide campaign against smallpox has finally led to its eradication from most parts of the world. Pulse Polio program is another mass immunization program taken up at the national level to wipe out polio completely. Production of insulin. Certain types of bacteria are used in producing insulin, a hormone used to treat diabetic patients whose body produces little or no insulin. Presence of bacteria in human body. Bacteria such as Lactobacillus, Acidophilus and Escherichia coli found in human intestine synthesize vitamin B complex, which helps in digestion and absorption of food. They also help in destroying disease-causing microbes. Increase soil fertility. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is an essential nutrient for all life forms to synthesize many components of their bodies such as proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids and vitamins. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Therefore, microorganisms present in the soil help in the recycling of nitrogen in the environment. The microbes such as Rhizobium, Nitrobacter and blue-green algae help in fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil and to increase its fertility. These microbes are also called biological nitrogen fixers. Maintain clean environment. The microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi decompose biodegradable waste and help in recycling of nutrients to the environment. They break down the dead remains of organisms into simple substances. These substances are then readily absorbed by the plants from the soil. Thus, these microorganisms help in cleaning the environment. Bacteria are also used in decomposition of sewage. They degrade the organic waste present in sewage and make it less harmful for the environment. This is the nature's method of keeping the environment free from pollution. Bacteria help in the breakdown of plant and animal waste to produce biogas, which can be further used as cooking gas. The microorganisms such as algae can carry out photosynthesis and produce oxygen. This in turn leads to the purification of air. It is believed that most of the oxygen that we have on the earth was initially produced by algae in the oceans. Harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms can be harmful to us in the following ways. They can cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. They can spoil food, clothing, and leather. Disease-causing microorganisms. Harmful microorganisms which cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals are called pathogens. In human beings, the disease-causing microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, virus, and protozoa enter our body through various means such as the food and water that we consume, the air we breathe, physical contact, and carriers such as mosquitoes and flies. Diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. Some examples of such diseases in humans are cholera, common cold, chicken pox, AIDS, and tuberculosis. Airborne diseases. Airborne diseases are caused by pathogenic microbes that are discharged from an infected person via coughing and sneezing. The discharged microbes remain suspended in the air. When a healthy person inhales this air, the disease-causing germs enter his body and infect him. It is advisable to keep a handkerchief on the nose and mouth while sneezing. It is better to keep a distance from an infected person. Waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases are the diseases caused by drinking water contaminated by human or animal feces, which contain pathogenic microorganisms. These diseases are more prevalent in areas with poor sanitary conditions. These diseases are easily transmitted when this contaminated water is used for any of the following purposes: drinking, making ice cubes, washing uncooked fruits and vegetables, brushing teeth, and washing clothes. Contaminated water can cause many types of diarrheal diseases, including cholera, and other serious illnesses such as guinea worm disease, typhoid, and dysentery. Vector-borne diseases. The agents such as mosquitoes, houseflies, mites, and rats which transmit disease-causing microorganisms from an infected person to a healthy person are called carriers or vectors. The diseases caused by these carriers are called vector-borne diseases. The female Anopheles mosquito is a carrier of malaria parasite. The male mosquito does not spread malaria. The female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier of dengue virus. By keeping the surroundings clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding. Many foodborne diseases are spread by houseflies. They sit on garbage and excreta and carry disease-causing pathogens with them. When this housefly sits over uncovered food items, fruits, vegetables, and other eatables, the pathogens stick to the food and enter our body when we consume them. Some common communicable diseases in human beings, along with their mode of transmission, causative pathogens, and preventive measures are listed in the table given below. Human diseases. Causative pathogen. Modes of transmission. Preventive measures, general. Tuberculosis, TB. Bacterium. Air. Vaccination. Cholera. Bacterium. Contaminated water, food. Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Avoid eating uncovered food and use boiled drinking water. Vaccination. Typhoid. Bacterium. Contaminated water, food. Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Use boiled water for drinking. Poliomyelitis. Virus. Contaminated water, air. Vaccination to be given at a suitable age. Measles. Virus. Air. Keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Vaccination. Chicken pox. Virus. Air any physical contact with the infected person. Keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Vaccination. Common cold. Virus. Air. Wash hands regularly, cover nose and mouth while sneezing and coughing. Hepatitis A virus. Water. Drink boiled drinking water. Vaccination. Malaria. Protozoan. Bite of the female Anopheles mosquito. Use mosquito nets and repellents. Spray insecticides and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. In animals. Animals are also vulnerable to the diseases caused by pathogens. Some common diseases in animals are given below. Some animal diseases caused by pathogens. Animal diseases. Affected animal. Causative pathogen. Modes of transmission. Foot and mouth disease. Cattle. Virus. Air, contact with an infected animal. Anthrax. Cattle. Bacterium. Breathe in or ingest spores present in contaminated soil, plant or water. Fin rot. Fish. Bacterium fungus. Injury, dirty water. In plants, several microorganisms cause diseases in plants such as wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, and others. The diseases reduce the yield of crops. Some common diseases in plants are given below. Some plant diseases caused by pathogens. Plant diseases. Causative pathogen. Modes of transmission. Citrus canker. Bacterium Xanthomonas. Air. Apple scab. Fungus. Air. Rust of wheat. Fungus. Air. Seeds. Yellow vein mosaic of bhindi, okra. Virus. Insect. Food poisoning. Under favorable conditions, microbes like bacteria or fungi grow on food items and produce toxic substances. These substances make the food poisonous. This poisonous food is called spoiled food. The spoiled food can be identified by its bad smell, surface discoloration, slimy or cotton-like growth on the surface, sour taste, etc. If eaten, it can cause serious problems and sometimes even death. Food poisoning could be due to the consumption of food spoiled by some microorganisms. Mild food poisoning may lead to an upset stomach and diarrhea, whereas a severe case of food poisoning may lead to nausea, abdominal cramps and vomiting along with diarrhea leading to excessive loss of water. Hence, we should always eat fresh, covered and properly cooked food to avoid food poisoning. Food preservation. Food preservation is a technique of treating food items to slow down or stop the growth of microorganisms to maintain the quality, flavor, color and texture of the food items so that these can be stored for a longer time. Chemicals that are used to check the growth of microorganisms in foodstuffs are called preservatives. The preservation techniques create unfavorable conditions for the growth of microbes. We can preserve food items in our home by adopting some simple food preservation techniques. Heat and cold treatments. Heating is a simple method of preservation used in our homes for protecting milk from spoilage and for killing germs in water. Boiling kills growth of harmful microorganisms. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibits the growth of microbes. Microbes need moderate temperature to grow. So, we store many food items such as milk, curd, cooked food, raw vegetables and fruits in refrigerator to store them for a longer time. Do you know? At a commercial scale, milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then it is cooled down quickly. This method kills most of the bacteria which can spoil the milk. This method is called pasteurization. This technique is used in large-scale storage of milk. This method was discovered by French bacteriologist Louis Pasteur. Chemical methods. Chemical method of preservation is done by mixing certain chemicals which have the capability of preserving the food. Chemicals preservatives such as sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are added to jams, squashes and ketchups to prevent the growth of microorganisms in them. Preservation by common salt. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish since ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Preservation by sugar. Jams, jellies and squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content which inhibits the growth of bacteria that spoils the food. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Oil and vinegar are best known for preserving pickles. Some vegetables, fruits, fish and meat are also preserved in oil and vinegar for a longer time. Oil prevents supply of oxygen to the microbes. Sun drying. Microorganisms need moist conditions to grow and dry condition inhibits their growth. The food grains such as cereals and pulses are sun-dried before their storage. The lack of moisture in seeds helps in prolonging their shelf life. Storage and packaging. Dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed, airtight packets to prevent the growth of microorganisms. We know that microorganisms need moist air and suitable temperature for their growth. The airtight condition does not allow their growth. Bottling and canning. It is a method of preserving drinks, colas, beverages and other products, which are to be stored under low temperatures. Carbon dioxide is added as a preservative in some cold drinks. Nitrogen fixation. The process of converting of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds, mainly nitrates, and making it available for plants is called as nitrogen fixation. The organisms which fix nitrogen to plants are called as nitrogen fixers. It can be fixed in the following ways. Nitrogen fixation by bacteria. The rhizobium bacteria, living in the root nodules of legume plants such as beans and peas, with which it has a symbiotic relationship, fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Because of their major role in nitrogen fixing, the rhizobium bacteria are called nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Nitrogen fixation by blue-green algae. Blue-green algae such as nostoc and Anabaena also helps in nitrogen fixation. These algae are mostly found in the paddy fields. Most of the nitrogen in the nature is fixed by this method. Nitrogen fixation by fungi. Fungi also fix nitrogen by decomposing organic waste into simpler substances which can be utilized by the plants. Nitrogen fixation by lightning. Lightning also helps in fixing atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. The temperature and pressure during lightning converts atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen oxide. These nitrogen oxides combine with rainwater to form nitric acid. The acid thus formed reacts with alkalis present in the soil to form nitrates, which are then finally absorbed by the plants. Nitrogen cycle. The process by which nitrogen in the atmosphere is passed into the soil and life forms and then released back into the atmosphere is called the nitrogen cycle. percentage of nitrogen in atmosphere is kept constant throughout the nitrogen cycle. Steps involved in the nitrogen cycle. 1. Nitrogen fixation. The atmospheric nitrogen is fixed into nitrogenous compounds by rhizobium bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, or by lightning. The plants absorb these nitrogen compounds and convert them into plant proteins. Animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. 2. Assimilation. This is how plants get nitrogen from the soil into their roots. Then the nitrogen gets used in amino acids, nucleic acids, and chlorophyll. 3. Ammonification. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil break down protein, amino acids, and other nitrogen-containing compounds of dead and waste organic matter to form ammonia. This process is called ammonification. 4. Nitrification. The ammonia thus formed is converted to nitrites and then to nitrates by the action of nitrifying bacteria such as Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. This process is called nitrification. These nitrates are again absorbed by the plants and the cycle is repeated. 5. Denitrification. The biological conversion of nitrate to nitrogen gas by the action of denitrifying bacteria present in the soil is called denitrification. Thus, these denitrifying bacteria contribute in releasing nitrogen gas back into the atmosphere. Keywords: fermentation, the process of conversion of sugar into an acid or an alcohol by the action of microorganisms. Pathogens, harmful microorganisms which cause disease in human beings, plants, and animals. Communicable diseases, diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact. Pasteurization, technique of sudden heating and cooling of milk to kill the microbes.